People want old cars, which were reliable, better looking, and low tech.
Driving an old vehicle equals freedom. The analog resistance. Let me know in the comments section if you drive a vehicle from the 1900s. This is a 1992 Geo Tracker. What does the word freedom mean to you? Most people would say not having crippling debt and being able to go where you want to go. The average person was able to have their first automobile when the original Ford Model T came out, and the appeal was freedom. If you had a job, you can afford a Ford Model T when they came out. So that was the first vehicle that was available to the masses, to the average person. I was seeing a bunch of the analog resistance videos being recommended to me on my YouTube feed. The first video I saw, and the person that started it, is the War on Beauty. So I will pin her video in the comment section and the description box. But she's talking about how her family vehicle broke down, and then she started doing research on vehicles. She didn't know much about vehicles, but an observation she made is how cookie cutter new vehicles are. They all look the same, they all act the same, and she pointed out how older vehicles just have way more personality. And on top of new vehicles all looking the same, all having the same personality, they have software that spies on you now. I don't know if it's been implemented yet, because I don't want a new vehicle, but I believe manufacturers, if they haven't already, are going to be able to turn off your vehicle if you don't pay for it. So you don't got control on that. And then why do they have to shut it off? Repossessions are at an all-time high because vehicles are so expensive now. A base model entry-level car is 30 grand. This cost me $7,000. Insurance is $25 a month. I'm not in crippling debt over this thing.
I found that the looks of the cars were really the least of their problems, but it was actually the tech inside.
When Teslas first came out, they got a lot of criticism from non-fans about how it was just a plain dashboard with an iPad in the middle. And now when you look at vehicles in 2026, they're copying Tesla's dash and a tacked on iPad. My girlfriend recently rented a Nissan Sentra. My buddy Tom Talking Shift recently rented a BMW 330i. I couldn't tell the two vehicles apart because, like the War on Beauty said, it seems like all cars are the same now. This is what a interior from 1992 looks like.
The cars were not only so unattractive and uninspiring and unexciting, because as we know, cars have been also a huge victim of the War on Beauty. Most cars these days are just on a gray scale. They're all copy and paste, same body styles. But it was so exorbitantly expensive. So it was just hunk of crud after hunk of crud for the low price of starting at $50,000.
And this is what I hate. And I actually filmed, my girlfriend rented a Nissan Sentra. Everything's a screen and it's just squared off. It doesn't fit right. It's not integrated. It's just slapped on, man. Yeah. Remember when everyone made fun of Tesla for just having a screen?
Absolutely.
Everyone does it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's quick, but it's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's boring. It's just old cars have more personality. 2026 Nissan Sentra, even though this is an entry-level economy car, it's following the format of all modern cars. All modern cars have a screen, and I'm not a fan of how it just looks like it's tacked onto the dashboard. There's people who will look at this and think you're a caveman for driving such a barbaric vehicle. I made a video, a YouTube short, about these windows. This is how you roll them down. One person left me a comment saying, "That must be tiring to do after a while." And I said, "You'll be okay, just go to the gym once a week."
So far from being the amazing symbol of American freedom that they once were, cars are now being turned into rolling prisons.
Sometimes I'll watch a Tesla video that's recommended to me just to keep in touch with the car scene, see how it's evolving. I saw one guy, all he does is show off how much electronics his Tesla has. So he'll pull up on his friends that have never been in one, and then he'll laugh when they don't know how to open the door. I saw one guy, he was talking about how you could drive a Tesla with one pedal and he could no longer go back to two pedal driving. I got three pedals right here. I'm a caveman. If this is your first time seeing a three pedal car and you want to learn how to drive one, let me know in the comment section. I'll make a video on how to drive a manual transmission. I have a buddy who had a Tesla and he got rid of it. He told me to get all the features, it needs to be attached to a credit card to get the most out of it, and he didn't like that, and that's crazy to me. So when you buy an old vehicle, what you see is what you get. You know what old retro vehicles have become? They have become retro video games. Like the modern video games, you need to pay. There's like paywalls now. Cars look like they're getting paywalls now. I like that all this is what I get, and you know, I'm not in crippling debt. This thing is easy to fix and cheap to insure. That's freedom right there. I don't even smoke, but I had to put this here to utilize this area. Back then people smoked. Cigarette lighter, ashtray. There's no screens in the headrests, but there's ashtrays in the back. Looking at this dash, are you thinking to yourself, that sucks, gross, I miss my gigantic touchscreen with all the apps, all the technology, electronics, a tracker, so the dealer can know where I'm at, the insurance company can know where I'm at all times? Or are you looking at it thinking to yourself, that's a work of art, I want my own old vehicle now? And if you're wanting to get into old vehicles and you're enjoying the video of this tracker, I'll leave videos right here at the end so you could see more of this. And this says tracker, not to track you, but so you could track trails. This thing is excellent off-road. I'll talk about that a little more later. Manual transmission, you have to roll through your own gears to get the vehicle to move. Manual transfer case, you have to actually move this lever to get four-wheel drive. It's in two-wheel drive right now. If I move this lever up, four-wheel drive, move it down, back to two-wheel drive. It's pretty cool because there's instructions right here on the visor. Since there's so much going on these screens, this screen goes out, you're losing everything, and this can cost upwards of $3 grand, even more from what I've researched. So this whole screen will need to be replaced. So is this the type of car you're going to hold on to for the next 30 years?
I am not a car person at all, but I did start to become fascinated by cars in this process, especially learning about the cars that can last generations and be repaired by normal tools without a computer. Many of the old cars that were driving by me were actually driven by young people, by Gen Z, maybe late teens, early 20-somethings. And of course, some old people for sure, like those were just their cars for decades, but a lot of young people. And I think that this is the hope. And it's, to me, the most significant example of the return to analog that we're seeing with Gen Z and young people.
This is the last car I bought, 2003 Jaguar S-Type R. I bought it about 2 months ago. I bought the Geo Tracker 4 years ago. I'll talk about the new millennium, the 2000s, in a separate video. I just wanted to show this car real quick. The funny thing is, I paid less for this car than the Geo Tracker. This car was $5,000. You don't get this anymore. Old cars just have so much more personality. This is so nice to look at. I'm not a fan of screens, but this car has a screen, but it's a retro screen, so it's kind of cool. This does have a navigation. Let me turn off the AC real quick. AC still works too, 23-year-old car. Yeah, there you go. Navigation with PlayStation 1 graphics. I'll talk about this car later. I never want to give bad advice, so if you want to buy a reliable, inexpensive, old vehicle, buy something American or Japanese. Don't buy an old, inexpensive European car. Buy one if it's a fun vehicle, if it's a spare vehicle, you want something fun, different, unique, that's not going to cost you 50 to 100 grand, then take a risk on an old European vehicle, but something to drive every day, something that's reliable, Japanese or American. I never buy vehicles to try to win people's approval or to be cool. I buy my vehicles because I like them, but that being said, I do enjoy talking to people who like unique vehicles, older vehicles. So if you have a channel and you talk about old, unique vehicles, it doesn't even have to be a muscle car or a classic car, you know, considered a classic car. Let me know about your channel. I just love talking to cool car enthusiasts who aren't materialistic. You just enjoy the art of the automobile. Like, so many people these days seem like they're getting vehicles to impress other people. They're not doing it for the love of the car.
You're looking at the red M3 that we have on the lot.
Yeah, the manual, 16,000 miles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. This is your first car loan?
Yes.
Are you adding a full signer or are you putting any money down?
Just me. My mom didn't want to help because it was too expensive.
Do we have anybody that could co-sign for you at all?
Nah, everybody's just doing their own thing, so I'm just out here doing it myself.
I want to help you out as much as possible. But you being a first-time buyer, not really having any heavy credit history, that's gonna be a tough call, especially with very little amount down. Do you think you can possibly even put any more money down?
I get paid this weekend. I can give you maybe another 200 bucks.
Are you open to other options? Let's say, for example, a Civic Si. Would that be something you're interested in?
Honda.
It's
Nah,
still a fast
Honda.
car, but it's a little bit more within our budget.
It's just a Honda, though. My friends got an M5 with the same circumstance.
I understand we want to be cool with the gang and all of that, but we have to work with what we have. No credit history and little to no money down is going to be hard to get you into an 83 grand. Let's say, for example, a Civic Si. Would that be something you're interested in?
Honda.
It's still a fast car, but it's a little bit more within our budget.
It's just a Honda, though. My friends got an M5 with the same circumstance.
I understand we want to be cool with the gang and all of that, but we have to work with what we have. No credit history and little to no money down is going to be hard to get you into an 83 grand car.
I'm not impressed by a new BMW M3. I'm impressed by vehicles like this. Geo Trackers, Mazda Speed 3, 500 Abarth, $5,000 performance cars with a manual transmission. Me and my buddy are about to hit the gym. I made a video about these two cars. $5,000 performance cars with a manual that you could buy in 2026. Rev it up. One more. One more time.